In this quick video, we are going to talk about starting a brand new return from scratch. So, as you can see, the program is incredibly well labeled, meaning it's pretty hard to get lost in here. This is obviously the home screen. First thing you're going to do to start a brand new return, hasn't been entered in the system in a previous year, brand new client, don't know him from Adam, is we're going to click Start New Tax Return. First thing that's going to pop up, if you have them configured, are taxpayer profiles. Taxpayer profiles, which we will go over, are the ability for the office owner or manager to basically create a template that would allow you to, let's say if you did a lot of college students, select the forms and have those forms prompted in the order in which they were arranged within the taxpayer profile. In this scenario, we're going to say we're not using that, we're just entering them in right from scratch. So you would just go enter Social Security number, look just like this. And the demo range, meaning the IRS knows that anything that starts with a 4000 and then has any ending 4 characters is a demo. So we're just going to click Start Return. It reminds you to get your 7216 signed. And then we're going to end up at our filing status page. Okay, so this is the first page you'll land on. As you can see, we're under the basic information section, which is 3 parts. The filing status, which we're in right here. The personal information page, which we'll be in shortly after this. And then if you have any dependent information. So if you know what you're doing and you've already gone through kind of the qualifications for selecting the filing status, you know, they're sitting there with their spouse, then you know that they're going to be married filing joint. Couple of questions for head of household in terms of, you know, determining whether or not that's the case. And for us, we're going to say that we know those qualifications and that's what we're dealing with. Okay, if you're not sure, you can always come over here to the filing status wizard, which will ask you a series of questions, and based on your responses or the responses of the taxpayer that you input, that will then tell you where to go. We're now going to put in the primary taxpayer's information. If at any point you needed to go back, you can see filing status would take you back that one screen. I'm just going to put in some junk here. Hannah taxpayer is our taxpayer. That's their date of birth. As you can see, I am navigating, oops, that's a little old. I am navigating exclusively with my mouse and keyboard. I believe that that's the most efficient, with my keyboard and keyboard commands. If you like to use your mouse, by all means you can. It's a little less efficient, meaning slower, but if that's what you're accustomed to, you absolutely can. If you do tab past something and you need to go back and you're a keyboard command person, if you don't already know, there's a Windows function, Shift Tab, that will take you back, just as Tab will take you forward. So Shift Tab, if you're a keyboard person, just to give you a couple of little quick tips, will take you back up the page, and Tab will take you down the page. So from there, we're going to click Continue. So we already put in the personal information for the primary filer, and we're going to put in some dependent information. Do you have a dependent? We do. We got a couple of children's, so we're going to put in Elijah. Last name pulls over automatically. If the dependent's last name is different than that of the taxpayer, you can alter that or make a modification just by tabbing it out or backspacing it out. Put in the date of birth, and I miskeyed that, but that's good. Pick Social Security number in there. Now if your taxpayer or the dependent of their taxpayer has or needs to file for an ITIN number, what you would do is you just check this box here, and you can see it removes the Social Security number and then asks you, do you want to fill out a W-7 for this person later on? You would say yes, and the program's then going to say, basically remind you later on that you need to complete that based off of the input that you provided here. So we're going to uncheck that. We're going to put in the social. We're going to put in the relationship type as son, 12 months. None of this other stuff applies, and we're going to click Continue. If you have an additional dependent that needs to be added, and this will be consistent throughout the program, like if we had one W-2 that we input and we needed to input an additional W-2, you'll just click the plus sign right under that, and we'll add in Sarah taxpayer, and 12, 12, 12. Oops. Shift tab, go up one, just to, take my own medicine there. And that's going to register as an I-10. We don't want that. And then D for daughter, and click continue. So that's what we wanted to cover in this initial video, is starting a brand new return and putting in the basic information for the taxpayer. So we started the return, put in the social, we put in the taxpayer's filing status that we determined was head of household, because I just clicked on head of household. We then put in the dependent or the taxpayer's personal information and the dependent's information as well for 2 different dependents. So that is kind of your first section under the basic information heading. Now once you're done with this information, you will click continue, and it will then take you to your federal section. So it collapses the basic menu and then jumps you over to your federal menu. And we'll cover that here in another video.